Welcome back, everybody, to the Delusional Fan with Geraghty McCloud. Chris Geraghty here. Ryan McCloud sitting to my left. It is top 5 time. Ryan, last week was one of my favorite top 5s because not only...
You say that every week, by the way.
Well, I like
okay,
that.
though. You love the top 5. You love it.
But we didn't have the same thing.
No, which was great. That was great.
Last week was
unique.
Playoff and championship performances. We had a comment on here which kind of made me crack up. Adam Paul thought my Marcus Allen as a top 5 was ridiculous.
We talked about it. Yeah.
Thought it was.
Yeah.
Why did he think it was so ridiculous? Did he? Well, he's how old is he?
Yeah, 33, 32. Sorry, dude.
Brain's not developed.
Oh, right, sure.
This one, I actually considered this one because I did see this, but the reason I didn't pick it is because they ended up not winning the championship. Was Isaiah's 25 points in one quarter.
Which we talked about this. And I agree.
Ankle.
Yeah, it was a good call. It was a really good call. Yeah.
Again, a great performance, but in the end, he really didn't play very well at all in Game 7, and they got blown out and lost. So. This one, Adam brought up, and also Alex Bruni brought up. I thought this one was pretty big time, and I actually felt a little bit upset. Both of us left it off the list. Michael Phelps, 8 golds in Beijing.
Yep.
Monster championship performance.
Right, and again, we actually talked about. I talked to Adam, my brother, the day of, and I was just kind of shooting back and forth with him. I didn't take anything that he mentioned to me on my top 5 last week, but. Kind of got the wheels turning there with that call. For whatever reason, him bringing up Michael Phelps and how dominant that performance was made me. I'll go, holy shit, Tiger Woods. How dominant was that performance?
Yeah.
And that's made me kind of think of that, and that's why I went. That's a good one.
He also liked the Red Sox coming back from down 0-3, but since we had that as a
and
choke,
we talked about that. Yeah, right.
Before
right.
I didn't think that was great.
I agree. I went away from that.
This week's top 5, top 5 nicknames.
Sports nicknames.
Which
I like this one.
There are so many out there. Some of them make absolutely no sense. Some of them are fun. And some of them, to me, and the ones I picked were my favorites because not only do they fit the guy, but if somebody was to never watch the sport and you were to say this is their nickname, it'd tell you, I think, a lot about them.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. No, I love this.
I think I went first last week, so I'm going to let you go first this time.
Okay.
So
was this one that you came up with, or was this a fan?
This is all me. Yeah, it's all me.
Chris brings this up yesterday, I think, and I like this one. This is a good one.
We talked about in the first episode. One of the things that I do as a side project is I'm an announcer for a lot of combat sports, which nicknames are rampant. And so one of my favorite things is to say, when you're in that cage or in that ring and you're about to say someone's name and you throw that nickname out there and you really put that
the emphasis
into
it.
It's fantastic.
Spin on it. Yeah.
It is the thing that I love the most about when I'm actually in the cage or in the ring doing it.
A little insight to the ring announcer there.
Nicknames are a big deal. So
that's your nickname, right?
What?
The ring announcer.
The ring announcer, that's right. So
very nice.
Even though there's really not many rings anymore in MMA and boxing, but not in MMA. But
no, I've been known by my nickname my whole life, so it's okay. Rye Guy is it's through and through, years and years of Rye Guy. So all right. So starting off here, number 5. I don't know how you'll take this one because this is gonna go for 2 players here, and I want you to guess the second player. It should be fairly obvious. Yeah. But number 5, the Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr. Okay, and who is the other player? If you want to go ahead and guess.
I don't know. Well, there's a few. A friend of mine named Jordan Mitchell is the Iron Man. He fights in mixed martial arts.
Not referring to anybody in there. I don't know who that is.
Who did you have?
Come on, man.
What?
Favre.
Get out of here with that.
What do you mean get out of here with that?
I've never had anybody call him Iron Man.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely it is. Then you've lived here more than I have. I don't know how that's not something that you've heard before, but
because when I said Favre's name, I was usually cursing him.
Look, there's something that's attached to that nickname, and that's why I love it. It's your toughness, it's your grit.
Yeah.
It's your longevity. Okay. It's both Cal and him have the records in their respective sports for most career starts consecutively. Yeah. There's something about that nickname that I love. Obviously, it's also a comic back throw. I like that as well.
So the record Cal beat was set by Lou Gehrig, wasn't his nickname some of the workhorse or Iron Horse?
Yeah, something like
Iron
that.
Horse.
Yeah. And there's something to that record and Favre's. If Favre was a different player, if he's a punter or something, it's not. I'm not putting him on here. It's best, most meaningful position.
Did Favre have that nickname his whole career just because he did that?
No, that's something. But again, that's not. Was that Cal's nickname his entire career, or was that something that came as he started approaching that and got to 2,000 career starts or consecutive starts? All right, number 4. And again, I'm actually sticking with baseball. This is always one of my favorites growing up, though. The big unit.
Randy.
Dude, he was intimidating as they come.
He
had the mullet. He had like the mullet. I don't know what it was, but
you know what it
was intimidating.
Business up front, party in the rear.
Dude, and I mean, again, speaking of like memories and everything, him blowing up that bird on that pitch, one of the most incredible videotapes you'll ever see. Go check that out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
but the big unit, I love that nickname. Number 3, we'll switch it up. We'll go football in terms of an actual one player here.
Okay.
The Minister of Defense.
Yes, Reggie.
For obvious reasons, was a very religious guy. Love that.
He was a minister.
Absolutely. Well, right. How about that? But I'm saying, there's a lot that goes into that as well. Drawing him to Green Bay, there's a lot, the whole Holmgren calling him thing. And I don't know. I've always loved that. It's a unique nickname.
I do.
Minister of Defense. Nobody's ever going to be called that again. Number 2. This is my guy here. And I hope this isn't on your list because we'll keep the streak going. Prime Time.
Almost.
Prime Time.
Almost, but no, it didn't.
And he has my number 1 and number 2 have really 2 nicknames. Well, number 1 has several, but number 2, Prime Time, Neon, Dion.
Yes.
They go hand in hand.
They do.
Best shutdown cornerback of all time.
Best cornerback.
Showed up in big games too, and again, Prime Time, it just fits perfectly for Dion. But number 1, his airness. Michael Air Jordan. And that's the second one, his airness, and also, I mean, you can just throw it in there, GOAT. He is known as GOAT.
Not only is Air a great nickname, but Air started one of the biggest marketing campaigns in the history of American sports.
Michael?
Air.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah, right.
What Nike did with Air Jordan was just...
I mean, there's articles floating around the last week or two about how much he's going to make by, like, 2020 and just in, like, royalty checks from Nike.
Well, he owns part of Nike.
Of course, and the checks that he'll start cashing in on by that time are stupid.
It's a good list.
Absolutely. You like that list?
I love that list. And yet, we for 2 weeks in a row now do not have anything to say.
All right. I love it. And you like the list. That's good that you actually like it. And it's the same. Okay, good.
Prime Time was almost number 5 on my list. It really was. Because A, I love Dion.
Yeah.
B, he's the greatest cornerback I've ever seen play. And C, because Prime Time fit him to a T.
Absolutely. And Neon Dion did too.
But a guy bumped him.
Bright.
A guy bumped him.
Yeah. Okay.
So my number 5.
Do you have a list of like 5 or 6 honorable mentions this week?
I'm not going to do honorable mentions.
Okay.
Dion's my only honorable mention.
All right. Fire away.
So my number 5, most people won't know who aren't in the sport, so I only threw one in there because, again, I love combat sports and nicknames. Fedor Emelianenko. Have you ever heard of him before?
No.
He was.
You said
Fedor.
Fedor, yes, of course.
One of the greatest fighters of all time.
Sure.
His nickname, the Last Emperor. It to me personified who he was because he was on such a high pedestal for so long. He was just thought to be unbeatable by anyone, and we never got to see him fight in the UFC. And now he's way past his prime. Even though he's still fighting, he just beat. What was that guy's name? Maldonado. He just beat Maldonado. I think he fought in Japan or something like that. But the Last Emperor was one of the athletes that got me into that sport and what drew most old school MMA fans into mixed martial arts is Fedor, and just the Last Emperor. It really kind of personified who he was. So I knew I didn't think anybody
There's
knew.
only one emperor, and it's Palpatine. That should be his nickname. Go ahead.
You will die. All right. Number 4 on the list, the Worm. Dennis Rodman.
That's a good one.
Such a fitting nickname for a guy who wasn't the tallest, wasn't the biggest, wasn't the strongest, but yet the best rebounder in NBA history. And Worm perfectly describes that for me, the way he had to get in and out of there.
I like it. I do.
That is my number 4. Number 3, number 3, I could have sworn this was going to be in your top 2, and I thought for sure you would have this on your list.
Go ahead.
Megatron.
Yeah, see, no, and I do love that nickname. I do. But that's
Again,
I would have put the mailman in there before that.
Oh, jeez. Megatron, again, is when you see Calvin Johnson, because now when a lot of, other than the whole now Odell Beckham thing, but when Calvin Johnson first started doing what he was doing, they started calling him that new prototypical wide receiver. That's what everybody was looking for.
He really is like a machine, too. Like,
right.
It was. He's retired now, but yeah.
And even though Megatron technically has an evil negative connotation to it, it's still just... Because he really did torture.
And that almost is. That's a cool thing too. Is that he's like not. He's actually like a really humble, cool dude, right? Or as it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
My number 2 was almost my number 1, but doesn't matter. It's still number 2. And this again, the nickname fits his persona perfect. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October.
I knew you were gonna. I knew you were gonna have somebody like this in here. So yeah, and especially Reggie Jackson. Okay.
Just what he did in the playoffs in the World Series. I mean, the 3 home runs in one game, just stupid stuff that only he could do, in our time, I guess. My number 1 doesn't have one nickname, doesn't have 2 nicknames.
Okay.
He has 7 nicknames.
Oh, jeez.
You ready?
Yeah.
He's the good time blimp. He's a ton of fun. He's a wide load from Leeds. He's Food World. He's Love Boat. He's Bread Truck. He's the Crisco Kid. He's the round mounded rebound. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Charles Barkley is the greatest nickname in the history of the world. The Crisco Kid, I almost love more than the round mounded
Absolutely, man. No, that's a great one. I'll be honest with you. Two of my favorite ones from that list were your number 1 and your number 4.
Yeah.
Worm and that. That's great. And I didn't even think about those, man. Those are good.
Yeah. Let us know your top 5 favorites. Make sure you post them.
I'm surprised you didn't have the Hawk on there.
Dawson? Well, Dawson's one of my all-time favorite players. But I like Hawk Dawson, I guess. But
that's why I think you have him on there.
Again, I thought these nicknames were a little more fitting.
Yeah, that's okay. I get it. I just thought you'd have him on there.
I did like Hawk Dawson. That would have been an honorable mention, I guess.
Dude, there's a lot though.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, the Big Hurt, the Juice.
Oh,
dude,
Big Hurt,
OJ with all that with the documentary out. That was a great. I mean, it's for obvious reasons. It was great.
Yeah.
But in watching that documentary too, they talked about in the Bills. They really started that because he would turn on the juice. The offensive line would turn on the juice. So that was pretty cool too. But
to the Los Angeles Police Department. Way to shit the bed.
Yeah,
God,
right.
That was just
what
terrible.
A nightmare.
If you haven't seen
my God.
OJ Made in America, it'll infuriate you.
Yeah.
But you'll also understand why the jury did what it did.
Dude, there's so much in there that I didn't know. I mean, and again, topic for another time. Maybe we can get into that another time. But so much stuff I didn't know about. How he brutally murdered those two. Like, sick stuff. But
and they showed.
That's what I mean. Like, I didn't know that he, Anyway.
All right.
Right, a little
way
off
topic.
It's all right.
All right, just let us know your top 5s, or not even the top 5. We want to know your favorite sports nicknames. Make sure you post those under the link here. When we come back, we're going fun. We're going to bring in one of our favorite people. I consider him kind of a Trivial Pursuit of all different things. I play trivia with him at the bar and lose to him all the time.
So am I the homer? Am I stumping the homer?
You're both homers.
But am I supposed to stump him, or we'll figure it out, man. You can break it down in D segment.
Fun trivia time when we come back.
That's right.